Hi, this is Julie Harland, and I'm your Math Gal. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com, where you could search for any of my videos organized by topic. This is part 2 of unit conversions. We're doing linear conversions, and we do the following 3 problems on this video. All right, we're just going to do some more examples building on what we did in part 1 of unit conversions. So let's say we want to convert 7 feet to meters. So we've got 7 feet to begin with, and I want to end up with meters at the end. And the conversions we're going to be using here is, let's use the conversion that 1 inch is approximately 2.54 centimeters. Okay, and then we also need to know that 100 centimeters is in a meter. So you have to know the basic metric system. All right, so we've started off with 7 feet. So I don't have anything that goes directly to meters, but I can get to inches because you should also know that there are 12 inches in a foot. All right, so you have to think all these things through. Let's see. So first I can get my answer in inches, and then if I can get it in inches, I'll be able to convert to centimeters. And then if I can get it centimeters, I can get it into meters, and that's exactly where we're going to go with this. So first of all, let's get from feet to inches. So we want to multiply by, and I'm going to use parentheses for the multiplication. So I'm going to write 12 inches in the numerator and 1 foot in the denominator because I want the foot to cancel. So I make sure the foot is in the denominator. Now remember what I'm doing here. This is like multiplying by 1 because 12 inches is the same thing as 1 foot. All right, now if I do that, my feet will cancel and I've got my answer in inches so far. Remember, where I'm trying to get to is meters. All right, so I can go from inches to centimeters. So let's do that. Let's multiply. Let's say I want the inches to cancel. So I want the inches in the denominator. So I want to put 1 inch in the denominator and 2.54 centimeters in the numerator. Now once I do this, just recall that is an approximation. This is not going to be exact. Okay, so we've got, let's see, the inches will be able to cancel out. Now my answer is in centimeters. I'm getting close. So how about I use this conversion that 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. And I just want to point out, there's more than one way to do this problem. If you know another way to do it, like I do, there's multiple ways of doing lots of problems, that's fine. I'm just using this particular method of multiplying by a fraction where really the numerator and denominator stand for the same thing. So let's say I want the centimeters to cancel out. So I could put 100 centimeters in the denominator and 1 meter, that's the same thing as 1 meter. And by doing all that, if I cancel out the centimeters, I can see my final answer, I started out with 7 feet, right? Will be in meters. So now we just, plug this all into the calculator. I'm going to have 7 times 12 times 2.54 all divided by 100 because that's the only number in the denominator, and I'm going to get my approximation then in meters. So I'm going to get out a calculator and try that. See, when I put that in the calculator, I have 2.1336 meters, and let's say you wanted to round it to the nearest tenth. That would be 2.1 meters rounded to nearest tenth. To the tenth of a meter. So 7 feet is approximately 2 meters, really. And by the way, 3 feet is a yard, and a meter is just a little bit bigger than a yard. Okay, so 6 feet would be 2 yards, right? And so notice it's a little bit bigger than 2 yards because we've got 7 feet. We've got more than 6 feet. So our answer seems reasonable. You always want to look at it and see if it seems like, in the ballpark. So 7 feet is going to be bigger than 2 yards. And, you know, there's a yardstick and a meter stick. They're pretty close in size. The meter's just a little bit bigger. All right, here's another problem. We want to convert 2 meters to inches. So we're going to start out with 2 meters, and I want to somehow end up with inches. So again, we have to know, and we're going to use this approximation again. 1 inch is approximately 2.54 centimeters, so that I can get the conversion between the English system, which is inches, feet, yard, and the metric system, which is centimeters and meters, etc. All right, so if 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters, I know I can get that conversion. But the question is, I've got meters. How am I going to start and get to the centimeters? So we have to remember that 1 meter is the same thing as 100 centimeters. Now, you want to know what the metric system is about, and I'm not going over within the metric system how to do that, but I'll probably have another video on that if I don't already have it when you watch this. Okay, so first I'm going to switch over to centimeters. So I'm going to multiply this by what so that the meters cancel and I have my answer in centimeters. Well, I need the meters to cancel. So I need the 1 meter in the denominator and 100 centimeters in the numerator. Now, some of you know automatically that 2 meters is 200 centimeters, and you could simply write that. That's fine. I'm just using this particular method in this video. Okay, now, the meters cancel, and I've got my answer in centimeters, right? It's always in the numerator, you know, that you have to, that's what it's in. So I want to get inches. So now I've got to use this other conversion. 1 inch is the same thing as 2.54 centimeters. Let's see, I want my centimeters to cancel. So I want to put 2.54 centimeters in the denominator, and that's the same thing as 1 inch. Remember, each parentheses I'm writing here represents the number 1. In other words, 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters is actually the same as the number 1, etc. Okay, now, anything cancel? Yep, got my centimeters to cancel. My answer's in inches, so this is exactly what I want. So I end up getting, and it's an approximation, so I'm going to use squiggly lines. I have 2 times 100 inches, or 200, over 2.54 is all I have in the denominator, 1 times 2.54. My answer is going to be in inches. And now let's go ahead and use a calculator. And how about round to the nearest inch? Okay, so for this problem. So go ahead and get out your calculator and try it. In my calculator, I have 78.740 blah, blah, blah. So that's going to round to 79 inches. It's approximately 79 inches. Now again, what I told you before, remember a meter is about a little bit bigger than a yardstick, and a yardstick has 36 inches. So 2 yardsticks would be 72 inches. So we know that the meter's longer, so 2 meters is going to be more than 76. What did I just say? 72 inches? So 79 inches seems like it's in the ballpark. When you're done with a problem, always go back and see if it makes sense. All right, here's one for you to try. Convert 3 kilometers to yards. And we're going to use the approximation in this, that 1 inch is approximately 2.54 centimeters, and 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters, and then round your answer to the nearest yard. Okay, round answer to nearest yard. Okay, so there won't be any decimals. So go ahead and put the video on pause and try this on your own. Okay, hopefully you've put it on pause and tried it on your own. So let's go. We've got 1 kilometer. Now, 1 kilometer is the same as 1,000 meters. So the first thing I can do is multiply by something so the kilometers cancel. So I could put the 1 kilometer in the denominator and 1,000 meters in the numerator, and now I'm going to have it in meters. And of course, you could have just changed 1,000 kilometers to 1,000 meters right off the bat. I'm just using this method of multiplying by it with fractions. All right, so we've got 1,000 meters so far. All right. Now, actually, it would be more convenient if I had centimeters. So let's see. I kind of did this the long way. That is, if you already knew how many centimeters were in a kilometer. But I'm now going to use the fact that there are 100 centimeters is the same as 1 meter. So I can multiply, let's say I want the meters to cancel. So I'm going to put 1 meter in the denominator and 100 centimeters. Okay, so what do I have now? I've got my answer in centimeters. Okay, I'm trying to get to yards. Okay, now I got to get the centimeters to cancel. So I want to use this 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters so that I can get everything in inches. So I can go from the metric to the English system. So that's 2.54 centimeters. And I'm running out of space on this video, but I need to do one more thing. I have to know that there are 36 inches in a yard. So let's make this just a little bit smaller so I could fit it in. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Got to also multiply by, all right, I'm trying to get yards. And so the last thing you have to know is that there are 36 inches is the same as 1 yard. So I could put 1 yard in the numerator and 36 inches in the denominator. And wow, a lot going on here. The centimeters cancel. I'm getting the inches to cancel. Finally, I'm going to get in the numerator just yards. And so what do I have in the numerator? I've got 1,000 times 100, which is really just a 1 with 5 zeros there. So that's 1 with 5 zeros. In the denominator, I've got to multiply 2.54 times 36, which is 91.44. It's going to be yards. And then, now I have to do that division. So I've got, again, just get out your calculator, dividing by 91.44. And we're going to go to the nearest yard. So this is 1,094 yards is the approximation to the nearest yard. Oops, I found a mistake. We want to convert 3 kilometers. So we got to go back up here. Yikes. And do the 3 kilometers. Sorry about that. So in this numerator, this should have been 3,000. And that, of course, is going to change this answer here. We want to divide 300,000 divided by 91.44. And that's about 3281 yards. All right, that sounds more like it. Sorry for that mistake. That's why I kind of looked back. I knew something was wrong there. And so, got lots more examples and keep on working on these conversions. In the next video, I'll go over how to change like square feet to square inches, etc. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com where you can view all of my videos, which are organized by topic.